Live from the GSN studios in Grafton, West Virginia, it's The Hudl.
Hello YouTube, back here on the Grafton Sports Network. We've got a great episode for you today. It is the 14th episode and it is the 7th of February. I'm your host, Parker Biller, joined as always by Noah Foley. Fleet, how are you today, man?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad we're finally back in the swing of things, and snow hasn't affected us a whole lot. Might next week, though.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't, though.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
We cannot lose those summer break days, dude.
I know. They're crucial times. So.
They are.
Just a reminder that the Hudl merch sale is still going on. Forms will be due on February the 14th. If you still have any questions, make sure to please reach out to one of us, and we'll let you know. We hope that you consider buying some Hudl merch. All right, Flea. So, the past few weeks we've been talking a lot about winter sports, but right now I want to talk for just a second and take a look at some baseball and softball. I talked with the new baseball head coach about a day ago, John Guz, about what this team is preparing to do with the new season and his overall thoughts on the team.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this team, man. They got a lot of young players like Carter Gillespie, Chase Kinsey that can really make an impact, and they have that new field, so should be a pretty big season for them, man.
Yeah, all right, and we'll roll the clip here from John.
When you look at some of our areas of focus, it really starts back to where were our deficiencies from last year. And some of the areas that we struggled in last year were we struck out way too often at the plate, and we struggled to defend at times, and it seemed like it came in waves. With the numbers that we had last year, obviously they were not what we were hoping for going into the season, and not really the numbers that would sustain long-term success. So those are our big areas of focus. We're going to try to cut down on strikeouts. We're going to try to put the ball in play early. We're going to try to attack the baseball and fastball counts and stay out of spin counts. Defensively, we are young and athletic, and we're going to be scrappy defensively. We're going to take pride in our defense, and I think that we're going to do some pretty exciting things with the gloves. Practice as much as we can, although with the weather it's been pretty rough at times. It seems like we get to go a few days and start to get ramped up and then have to shut it down a little bit, especially over the beginning of January when we lost a lot of days of school. But right now we've got flex days planned from now until the season starts, and hopefully we can get a string of nice weather where we can get outside. Obviously with the new turf it's been much easier. There's been days that we have been outside that in years past just wouldn't have been possible.
All right, and you heard Coach Guz talk about how well the new turf field is doing, like we just mentioned, and how excited he is for the new season. And there's a lot of young talent on this team, and I think they look promising from what I've seen.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of leadership in Grayson Ramazan, Mason Marpley, all those big guys coming back, and they are primed for a state's run maybe. I mean, they could make a run like any team could. Yeah. Especially looking at this softball team, man. They're pretty good too. They have Lily Krim, pitcher of the year in the Big Ten, and a lot of good role players on that team like Kerrigan Wildrow, Ruth Horn, all them. So money's going into both programs. Should be big for both baseball and softball this year.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year. Hopefully we do some more coverage on them. Get some guests on here to talk about it, because baseball is an important thing, and softball as well here in Taylor County. So definitely good things to come there.
And we don't know that much about softball, so
we don't. And we just got to do more reporting. The season hasn't started yet, so we don't know a whole lot. But hopefully we can talk more about that soon. But we did talk last week about swim. We sat down with Caroline Stead and Patrick Foley of the Grafton High School swim team. After we filmed that episode, Patrick Foley broke the new school record in the 100 free. He also finished third place in the Big Ten as well. Jonathan Mayer also broke a new school record in the 50 free. So they're doing some great things over there at the GHS swim team, and we hope to see a lot more success from them.
Yeah, and they have regionals coming up this week. And speaking on Patrick Foley, he's ranked 4th in the region for the 100-meter freestyle. So maybe we gave him some Hudl luck, man.
I don't know. Maybe we did.
Maybe they were lucky.
I hope we did. But they're doing a good job over there, and I'm excited. I think there's a states tournament. I think for swimming.
Yeah, it's like you got to qualify. Like if you're top 3 in your region in the event, you get an automatic bid to states.
So we'll definitely have some people going back to the states this year as well. We had some last year and the years before. So definitely good things over there at the GHS swim team. When we come back, we've got a special guest with us. You don't want to miss it on the Hudl.
Hey guys, Parker here. I want to tell you about my friends at the Keystone Realty Group. When you're looking for your dream home, time is of the essence. The North Central West Virginia real estate market moves very quickly, so you need an agent that has their finger on the pulse and keeps you in the know. Keystone Realty agents are responsive, honest, and will go the extra mile to get you the deal you want on the home you love. That's why Keystone Realty is the only group I trust for all your buying, selling, and renting needs. Conveniently located in the Middletown Commons in Fairmont, West Virginia, Keystone Realty is your key to home ownership.
And welcome back in our Keystone Realty special guest of the week, head coach of the Grafton High School wrestling team, the Colonel himself, Zach Shumaker.
How we doing?
Coach, how are you today?
Oh man, it's another day. It's a Friday. Ready to get through, get to the weekend, and get back at it.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to have you on here for the first time.
Appreciate it.
Hope that you'll join us back. So,
Absolutely.
please start her off, man.
I will. So, Coach Shumaker, just tell us a little bit about what goes into forming a good wrestling team and what it takes to be successful in West Virginia wrestling.
Well, so to any good team, numbers is key. Okay. In the last few years, we have not had the numbers that we've wanted, which has led into not having the outcomes that we've wanted. We've been very blessed this year that we've got a very good young core, along bringing back with 3 extra seniors. So we are at 10 total, 3 seniors and 7 freshmen. So with that comes a lot of learning curves, but kind of how you said, you can form them into how you want them to be. So when you talk about, forming into a good wrestler, it's our 3 core values for this team, and that is family, discipline, and win. Okay, we want to be family-oriented, meaning that no matter what, when you go to battle, you got your brothers back, right? Just like with your family, you always have your families back. You got to be disciplined individuals, okay? In this sport, there's no room for being undisciplined between trying to make weight, make practice. And listen, it's no lie. Wrestling is one of the hardest sports out there.
Yeah.
It is one of the only sports that requires to use every single muscle in your body. You got to be aerobic. You got to be anaerobic. You got to hit it all. So you've got to be a disciplined individual, because if you're undisciplined, it shows. And one of my favorite sayings with wrestling is, it not only shows character, it exposes lack of character. So that's where that discipline comes in. And then win. And that's just life, because let's be real. Sports ends for everybody one day. Happened to me, happens to everybody. Okay? But the whole goal is to be able to to move on from high school or whenever it ends and become a successful adult. To win in all phases of life. Even when you lose, to find a way to be able to persevere and just learn from it and get better. So that's what, in our opinion, is forming a good wrestler. And what's it take to be successful, kind of ties in with that as well. But a lot of it that, goes unseen is the work that they put in individually. Wrestling isn't something that you can just show up and do, okay? Granted, you can't do that for many sports, but wrestling, you just can't show up day one and expect to wrestle, okay? It's a process. It takes people years and years to be able to get to the best level they could possibly be.
Well, obviously, Coach, this year has gotten off to a shaky start with the passing of head coach Keith Zebley, a truly tragic story. And we talked about that a few episodes ago. But how has his passing really affected this team, and has it motivated you guys? How has it affected you?
So, we have been very blessed throughout our head coaching history at Grafton that we haven't had very many head coaches. Coach Hudl was the bridge to our successful program. And when he chose to retire back in 2013, he passed it to Coach Zebley. And, Coach Zebley, instilled those same core values and everything that we believe as to have a good wrestling team, which is be a good man or woman. Okay. So, last year finding out when his cancer had returned, it was one of them things to where it's like, it's our eye opener to realize you got to take every day. You can't take every day for granted, right? You got to take advantage of every day you've got. Okay, but 2, it's not only do we got to represent ourselves, we got to represent our team, represent our family. Now we got to find a way to represent, then our coach who was sick, and then later on ended up passing. And that's why this year I told him it's bigger than wrestling this year. Okay, it's always trying to be able to keep his legacy alive, and also to keep his name within this program forever. So we have a big sign in our wrestling room that says Zebley trained. Okay, we've had Coach Hudl, we've had Coach Zebley, 2 very great coaches, but we want to keep that in our room, for a due time until it's, ready to pass it on to his family. Yep. But just as a reminder, when we walk in every day, Zebley trained.
Okay. Cool. And like you told us a little bit ago, you guys are a very young team with 7 freshmen and 3 seniors. How have you guys done in matches and stuff this year?
So I'm not going to lie to you, like we said at the beginning, learning curves. We were lucky that a lot of the ones coming up from the middle school had some experience, but there's some fine things you gotta fine tune, all that other stuff. And so beginning of the year, you saw the lack of experience, you saw the age, but each tournament we have found a way to get better. And it seems like when we hit that new year, we went from taking steps to taking some strides. And then we hit Braxton County a couple weeks ago, and we really started taking some leaps forward. And then we went to Petersburg this past weekend, and very successful tournament and for us, especially being light-handed, but a very competitive tournament. And you saw that you were no longer, just freshman wrestling. We are, we're becoming those mature young kids that we need to be. And then what's nice with the seniors is, you can always be fine-tuning stuff. There's never a point in time when you're, best you're ever going to be. Like, you're always trying to find a way to get better. And they've accepted that challenge, which has been nice because now we've been able to piece by piece build what we want for this program.
Okay. And obviously you just talked about the Viking Smash at Petersburg High School. Noah Nestor placed first, going 9-0 in his division. So who, in your opinion, has also stepped up in a big way this year, and they've really stood out as a leader and a contender for this wrestling team?
So the first thing for Noah is, last year he did the same thing. He starts off a little slow, and then we start to hit this time of the year, and it's kind of how we try to build our program is we want to peak in February because that's our postseason. It's, conference, regional states. And he, again, has started to peak, went 9-0 with some very good wrestling. And then this past, actually yesterday, we wrestled at a quad, and he didn't have all the outcomes he wanted, but it's one of the best wrestling we've seen him have all 3 years he has wrestled here at Grafton High School. And then others, we've got Braxton Rush. Braxton who, he catches a lot of attention walking down the hallway. You don't see many 14, 15-year-old freshmen that are 6'3", 250 pounds, and look like a man.
Yeah.
And it shows. I mean, he had a lot of what we call pee-wee wrestling skills still, meaning that he wasn't quite fine-tuned to what we wanted, but he has accepted a challenge and he has persevered very well because he has wrestled some high-level heavyweight wrestlers this year. They have all just beat the absolute crap out of each other, if you want to be real with it. And he finds a way all the time to sneak it out. I believe he's 36-7, and as a heavyweight freshman, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Another one, Maverick Barsh, he's our 113. He was the one that he kind of started off the year for us. We're hot, start off 10-0, and you could see where he's got the skill. And sometimes I don't think it's a lack of confidence. I think sometimes it's more of a unsure type thing. Because, if you know this kid, he's quiet, but when he gets on the mat, he sure looks pretty confident. And he had a really good day again yesterday. Went 3-0, went 6-1 at the Viking Smash. And the one loss was because Frankfurt, their number one ranked kid in the state at 1-6, bumped their kid up, who we actually beat him earlier in the year. And they wanted to get a rematch. And the kid, it was a very good match. Kid actually ended up beating Maverick there towards the end. But again, you could see that it was a very high-level match, and it's a type of match that I feel like that we could see in Huntington here in a few weeks. It's a shout out to all the guys. Even the ones that aren't being as successful as they want, they show up every day, right? And that's the hard part. You practice 5 days a week. You practice for 2 hours a day. You might set a tournament for 6, 7, 8 hours. And you might only wrestle for in total 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's as mental as it is physical, if not more.
And like you touched on, you guys had a match last night. Tell us how that went a little bit.
So we talked at the beginning, like numbers. Numbers is what hurts us because, we're at 9 kids now. And when you give up so many weight classes, for example, there's 14 weight classes. We fill 8. So, we're giving up almost, why don't we do quick math here? We're almost giving up 36 points right off the get-go. So that's really hard to overcome. And so we have to be able to win the head-to-heads. And it's really nice because in our duels, we end up winning a lot of head-to-head matches. We wrestled a very good South Harrison team. And, team-wise beat us, but head-to-head we beat them. Wrestled a young, like us, Liberty team. We beat them as a team and head-to-head. And then we wrestled a very surprising RCB team. When I say surprising, they've kind of been like us in the past with a lack of numbers, and they have a very large team this year. And they have some, young core kids like we do. And, again, they beat us team-wise, but head-to-head, we still came out on top. So that's where we got to, on the outside, it's see, oh, well, they lost again. Well, you got to look on the inside of that because it's not like when you look at a football score, baseball score, or something like that. It's you got to look in between that they win head-to-head and stuff like that.
All right, well, finally, Colonel, you guys, wrapping things up, you guys wrestle in the Big Ten Championship Tournament on February 15th. Is that correct?
Yes.
And a week later in the regional tournament with a chance to make it to states on March 6th through the 8th. So just tell me a little bit about what your expectations are for this team and what would you consider a successful season in your eyes.
Well, so for the first time since 1972, I believe, in 1979, we did not send somebody to states last year. And so when we started this year, one of the challenges that we gave were to not let that happen again. And so obviously we want to send as many people to states as we can, but we've got to be realistic. Okay, is that always going to happen? No, because you've got 18 teams in the region that all have the same idea. So if we want realistic goals, we just got to go compete. We've got to continue to be family oriented. We got to be disciplined. We got to win. Okay, even when we lose, find a way to win and get better. And no matter what, just go out there and give our best absolute effort. I'm a big quotes guy, and I'm sure you know who John Gruden is. And John Gruden says this quote that I say all the time, and I'm going to say him again to him in 2 weeks before we go to regionals. It is, people's got dreams. Tons of people got dreams. I'm sure we got kids that got dreams. Okay, but when it comes times like this, especially if you know you're the underdog, because let's be realistic, there's only one seed. Everybody else is the underdog.
Yeah.
So if you're not that guy, you're an underdog. Okay, so we aren't about chasing dreams anymore. We're about being nightmares. We want to go wreck some people's dreams. And that's what I want to see is no matter what, I don't care if we finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever we finish at, I want to go be our absolute best. I want to go wreck some dreams.
All right, well, head coach of the Grafton High School wrestling team, Zach Shumaker. Colonel, thanks for joining us today. We'll keep in touch, hopefully have you back sometime. When we come back, we've got Bearcats basketball and Mountaineer basketball up next. Stay with us.
At Quality Machine, we specialize in welding, machining, custom design, and industrial manufacturing. Our team's unparalleled expertise can deliver top-tier solutions for your next project or repair. Need structural steel work or crane and rigging services? We've got you covered. From small jobs to big ideas, Quality Machine is your trusted partner. Experience the quality difference. Quality Machine Company, where industry meets innovation.
And welcome back in, Flea. Let's talk about some GHS basketball, man.
Yeah, let's start off with the Lady Cats squad. Congratulations to them, man. Undefeated as we're recording this video, 15-0, and they beat Bridgeport in a big win Wednesday night, 43-19. Congratulations to Kenna Keener for being the Bridgeport's Complex Athlete of the Week. That was a tongue twister.
That was it.
And right now she's averaging a double-double with 22 points per game and 12 rebounds, so that's really what you want to have on your squad, man.
That's an insane stat line. And Hadley Horn as well, I think, averages over 20 points a game. So
yeah, she's somewhere around 20 points. So having 2 20-point scores a night is your key to success.
This team is scary. I mean, they're really scary.
Yes,
and
they are.
I think if they can just stay composed, they're going to be they're going to be really good come tournament time.
Yeah, and we got to look at the region, too. They have a pretty hard region to get out of with East Fairmont, Elkins, North Marion. Those are some pretty hard squads, and they've beaten them all. So their defense, like we always say,
defense is key, man.
Defense is.
So, meanwhile, the exact opposite for the boys team. They have yet to win a contest. They lost to Bridgeport on Tuesday night, 62-31. That's a tough team, man. I mean, that's hard to beat really anyone. And I think that was the best game we've seen them play.
Yeah, that first half, man. Like they cut that lead down to 5, and you could almost feel the momentum in the gym switch. And they looked really good for those first 2 quarters. They're scoring 19 points and only allowing that good Bridgeport team to 27 points, so that's really solid.
If they can play like that every game, I think that they could be successful.
Yeah, that was a really impressive game. If I'm Coach Johnson, you still lost, but you got to be impressed with your guys coming out there playing the number 6 team in all of the state, number 1 in AAA, and you put up a pretty good performance for being Grafton.
Yeah, and they've just really struggled with rebounding, with shooting. And their defense has been okay, but just struggle to get anything going offensively. And, like we always talk about, just haven't found those 5 guys yet, in my opinion, Flea. And that's really held this team back this year, is not having those 5 or 6 guys that stand out as starters. That has held them back completely, and hardly anyone has stepped up to fill a leadership role.
Exactly, and like we always talk about, they lost one of the best point guards in the state in Jacob Mayer, so it's going to be hard to fill a 20-point scorer's shoes like that, and no one's just stepped up to do it yet.
So I don't know. Hopefully we can get some wins on the year. The girls team looks good. The boys team haven't found success yet. We hope that will change soon. So, all right, Flea, let's wrap things up with the Mountaineer Minute.
Let's wrap it up, baby. WVU men's team, tough loss. What was it, Wednesday night to TCU? I was watching that game. They lost 65-60 on a missed rebound. Jonathan Powell had it in his hands, and it just...
I feel like we don't play good when we're ranked, okay? And we didn't play good when we were ranked. Now we're not ranked, and now we're not playing good.
We're in a dry spell. My dad always says, like, February is the best time to get cold because March, you can get hot right at March, and then you're going to be good. Like, look at NC State last year.
Yeah,
They won the whole ACC tournament, got in, and made it to the Final Four. So, like, West Virginia could be one of those teams that gets hot at the right time and makes it all the way again, man.
And, like, at the beginning of the year, we started off hot, man.
Yeah, we were really hot.
I mean, we beat some really good basketball teams, and we haven't been up to that standard. And, you know, obviously with Tucker DeVries being out, season-ending shoulder surgery, is that right?
Yeah.
So he's out now. That's a big loss for this program. So hopefully he'll be back next year, but just, like you said, a little bit of a dry spell for him.
And really good things for the WVU women's team. They're sitting 18-4 right now, ranked top 20 in the nation.
Yeah.
They take on Houston and Baylor next, and JJ Quinterly, dude, she's one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I saw a thing, Javon Small and JJ Quinterly, they're both on like Naismith Player of the Year watch list. So that's like top 25 player in the whole country.
That's exactly right. And we have two really good basketball programs right now. I'm really happy with the direction that they are going at WVU. So hopefully more good things to come there. And the boys teams, the men's teams take on Utah and BYU next. All right, got anything else? Good?
I'm good.
All right. So my producer's telling me that's all the time that we have for today. Thanks to everybody for watching. We really appreciate your support. Have a wonderful day, everybody. God bless.